Okay, if you've been watching these for a while, you might probably know, um, the mic quality is always kind of bad, and, I've been wanting to figure out a way to fix that, so trying something new. I'm recording this under a blanket, which is really annoying, but, whatever. So today, don't mind that. Today we're going to be reading another story. This one is different. It's basically personified places. Now there is a anime like this called Hitalia, where it's countries. Uh, I don't know anything about Hitalia besides that, if I'm being honest. But like for Hitalia, pretty much like it's only countries. So for my story, it's going to include all the way from the super huge freaking continents to like towns and cities. So, yeah, just a way to mix things up. Um, ooh, I hit the mic. Um, but the problem with this story is that I'm stupid, so I included um one of the characters was like basically like the representation of the town I live and two other towns that are clear two other towns that are close by. So because I'm an idiot, the past me who was writing this only wrote this for fun to show friends, and the me now is like, why did you do that? So, anyways, because I would like to not dox myself. That'd be great, thanks. I'm preemptively renaming everyone, which you'll see as we go along. But yeah, I don't. I had a list of characters, but that, and then this is actual character info that we're gonna go through. So this is Asia Yuan Shang, born believed to be 1620 BCE, male, continent, black fluffy hair, black eyes, and pale skin, seen in a black suit in serious matters. So his wife is Europe, which now that I don't know if I don't know if that's the best decision I've made, but you'll learn of even worse decisions I've made because I was stupid. But yeah. So Yuan Shuang, his children are Japan, Korea, not like North and South. I'll get into that in a bit, but um, just like unified Korea and China. So he's very serious. He's soft and sweet around Europe, and he's actually part of the Shang dynasty. He ruled China for a bit, but once he was living a suspiciously long time, he was kicked out of China. I didn't even remember that. Oh, also, so I did not know what the hell a prophecy was when I was writing this. So, um, I ended up like, yeah, I did not know what the hell a prophecy was. Like the actual definition, but prophecy is basically the word I use to be like, this person is destined to be like a representation of this place. That just clearing that up now because you'll see it pop up. So Yuan didn't believe in the prophecy thing and thought it was a coincidence or something until Europe, Africa, and him met Terra/Earth for the first time. Has had a crush on Europe as long as he knew her. Reblog if you're a true 1600 BCE kid. And he's definitely Chinese if you couldn't tell. Just making sure you know. So Europe, her birth name is Ereshkigal Shamash. No, I can't pronounce it either. If you can, leave a comment, please. Oh, I think I might have published this book somewhere on like Wattpad. That's why I'm like, leave a comment. Her real name, I think that was like an invented one or something, is Europa Shang. She was born 500 BCE, but spent a couple thousand years before 1525 as a baby that no one noticed somehow. She's female. She's a continent. She has hip-length black hair, brown eyes, neutral skin tone as found on the Fenty Beauty foundation site thing. Oh, you can tell that I was just learning how to describe skin tones other than pasty white. Black glasses, lavender coat, white button-up shirt underneath, and a black pencil skirt with heels. So she's married to her husband Asia in 1900, apparently. She's a very stern woman, but caring of her husband in North America. So other stuff. Europe was originally from Mesopotamia, and birth name and real name. Europe was talking with Asia on some fine day in 1530. 1530? It might be 1530. And Asia was like, what was your birth name again? She was like, IDK, bro, I kind of forgot. So they came up with a European name for her. On a day when internet and computers existed, they decided on a name that was Mesopotamia-like as well. All the European countries aren't related to Europe. That was worded so confusing. Okay, so here's the fucking most problematic part of this story. I don't even know if I should post this. We'll see. As a blanket statement, if I were to reboot this story, I would probably be not making a lot of these decisions that I made. And that's a very big if, because I feel like with stuff like Hetalia and representations of countries, it gets really messy. Like flaws and like some stereotypes are bad. And like also some of the interactions can be like seen as like weird. Yeah. So okay. So Africa is Dubaku Okori. I'm so sorry. He born, I forgot, it was a while ago, it's quoted by Africa himself. Gender, male, he's a continent, he's black curly hair, brown eyes, and chocolate skin tone. I basically imagine Okiriete Onaudawan for his character. He wears a red and white striped shirt. Wow. Relations. North America, girlfriend at some point. This was my worst decision. God. Personality, a really chill person and just doesn't really care about anything else, really. Hated everyone for the longest time, but then they apologized about their countries and promised to make it better for black people. I I don't. Is that good? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know. Something about that feels weird, but I don't know. When he hated everyone, I mean everyone except North America, since she actually tried her hardest to do something about the slaves in her country. But since she was a woman, she couldn't really do anything about it since people refused to listen to her. Name, Australia. Real name, Anna Russell. Born January 1st, 1901. Gender, female. Land type, continent. Appearance, blonde hair tied into collarbone-length twin braids, normally armpit length. Tan skin, a tank top, and a sleeveless denim jacket with denim shorts. Sorry if this sounds horrendous. I'm not good at making clothes. Relations. Antarctica. Boyfriend at some point. Oh. Personality. Very eccentric, strange and wild. Other stuff. Tends to quote vines with the US. Antarctica. Real name. Arctic Anderson. Born 1901. Gender male. Continent. Appearance. Blonde hair. I swear when I drew him, I think he had like really, like, it was white. Like old person white hair. White, but okay. Trunk covering his left eye with a strip dyed black, a black coat with fluffy ends, and black ski pants. Relations. Australia. Girlfriend at some point. Personality. Very sarcastic and hurtful at points. Other stuff. His first name is more of a nickname based on his land name. He has his original name, and made sure that nobody remembers it. Australia found out what it was, though, and she uses it as blackmail. North America. Real name, Mary Golden. Born 1492. Gender, female. Land type, continent. Appearance, mid-back length. Blue hair and blue eyes. Pale skin. He wears red, white, and blue dress, typically with blue heels. Relations, Africa, boyfriend at some point. She has a son named the US, born in 1776, and Canada, born 1867. Personality, she has a lot of self-doubts, but she still makes time for important matters and loves her family. Other stuff, cannot stand US constantly quoting memes and vines. Okay, I remember that Mary had another daughter. Her name was Liberty. She was not like a representation of any place, but like I remember like Liberty like living and like dying at some point in the story, so I don't know. Okay, name South America. Birth name or real name Marina Flores. Born 1492. Female. Land type continent. Appearance shoulder length, black hair, brown eyes, milky skin. I don't know why I said that weirdly. White dress based on the traditional Venezuelan outfit. Look it up if you don't know. The dress being yellow, blue, and red, and a red flower as. Okay. Relations, Korea, boyfriend at some point. I don't know if that's problematic, but you guys can let me know if it is. Personality, tough as nails and would never let anyone break her heart after Spain. What? Okay. I know Spain like colonized a lot of South American places, but how does that mean boyfriend and girlfriend? I don't understand my logic there. If any okay, I don't know. Other stuff. Was born in what is now Caracas, Venezuela, Bogota, Colombia, Quito, Ecuador, Lima, Peru. Seriously, please look up South America rock the country. Yeah, you can tell I made this in middle school. All the Spanish-speaking countries are her kids. The other are just people she gave a prophecy. I think that's French, Equatorial Guinea, or just Equatorial Guinea, and I don't know the second one. Okay, here's the characters that are based on places that I'm from. So her code name is gonna be WT. Her real name is Winona Taylor, born October 6, 2006. She's female, she's a town, she's chin-length black hair, latte skin, brown eyes, gray sweatshirt, black leggings. Okay, I remember her being way more based on me than anything else, but the description is like different. Personality similar to South America. Pretty tough as nails, would beat up anyone that messed with their fragile twin sister. Pretty chill to talk to. Their stuff. Once she learns about the Holy Land stuff, she totally gets into the shippings. And then, okay, for this one, WW. Although I'm probably just gonna use their real names, not gonna lie. Real name Wendy Taylor, born October 6, 2006. She's a female, she's a town, she's armpit length black hair, tied into a side ponytail, hazel eyes, black glasses, and she wears a pink pastel dress. Relations. Okay. So her mom, we'll call her B. WT is her twin sister, this other character. RW, half sister, Rosalina. So Wendy is a very sweet and girly. Sure, a very sweet and girly, so true. But she is very fragile and sensitive, other stuff. Once she learns about the whole land stuff, she totally gets into the shippings. Birth name, Rosalina Taylor. Okay, next one. RW, or real name is Rosalina Taylor, born June 6, 2007, female. She's a town, she has black curly hair down her mid-back, a chunk covering her hair, a black hoodie with a skull, gray leggings, and black sneakers, almond skin color. So B is her stepmom. God, I forget who already. Okay. WT is Winona. WW is Wendy. So Winona and Wendy are the half sisters. So RW is very dramatic and has a very dark sense of humor, and she's very tired. She definitely writes very bad and edgy poetry. Okay, I guess I remember those three being way more based off of me, my sister, and my stepsister, but apparently that's not true. So for B, your real name, Barry Boyle Taylor. Barry Boyle. Born 1683, female, land type country, neck length, straight light brown hair. God. Brown eyes, pale skin, a sky blue airy dress. Relations: Winona is the daughter. Wendy is also a daughter. Uh, Rosaline is the stepdaughter. And Barry is very kind and caring but fragile. Other stuff. Name: United States. Real name: Adam Chandler. Born 1776. Gender: male. Land type: country. Appearance: dark brown fluffy hair, green eyes, a white V-neck, checkered jacket, khakis. What are you wearing, Jake? From State Farm? What? This is just so fucking random. And most importantly, a cowboy hat. Relations: North America, mom. Canada, brother. Personality: a very Mimi boy, a big jokester. Other stuff. Literally picked Adam so Canada could say Adam from that one vine. What do you mean? I guess his mom didn't name him or whatever. So Canada, birth name or real name: Canyon Smith. Born 1867, gender male, land type country, appearance black hair and blue eyes, blue almond skin, a blue V-neck and jeans. Boring. Relations: North America's the mom, United States is the brother. Uh, Canada is very sweet, will hurt anyone who tries anything with his mom. Was known for being completely attached to his mom as a young child. Why'd you choose Canyon? Because it sounds cool. It's not a phase, Mom. Okay, next, Mexico. Birth name: Annabelle Lopez. Born 1810. Gender: female. Is she's a country. Curly brown hair, reaching shoulders with a red flower, almond skin toned, red poofy dress. No relationships. She's a kind girl who's known to usually get tricked, but people are good. When she helps them, she gets hurt in the process. I don't think that's has any relation to real world events. If someone knows more about Mexican history than me, feel free to be like, oh, well, I know this wasn't the intention, but it sounds to me like this thing in history. Okay, I don't know why I made Central America like a thing, but sure, whatever, I guess. Birth name: Cecilia Trujillo. Born in 1600. Female, land type: who fucking knows? She has almond skin, ear length, curly afro hair, brown eyes, white tank top, denim jacket, and jeans. She has the islands, she's related to the islands from Guatemala to Panama. She's tough and would fight you if you mess with her kids. No, Mexico is and her daughter thought it'd be better Central America to give birth to these boys instead of North America. She is definitely Guatemalan. Oh, from Guatemala. Okay, so here's Japan. What's her real name? Satomi Shang. Also, let's not question, like, uh, okay, I thought, like, her mom was biologically, Europe, but apparently not. So I don't know, her dad just, like, found some nice Japanese woman to have a child with, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. So Satomi, born 660 BCE, female, country, jet black hair and a straight ponytail going down to her knees, black eyes, yellow hoodie with red roses on it, denim Jane. Oh my god, denim jeans. Uh, That's not what I remember Satomi wearing. I remember, in my head, I always remember her, like, having a parasol all the fucking time. Relations: Asia, dad; China, brother; Korea, brother. Personality: they're sarcastic but caring and cares for her fam a lot. Other stuff: she, along with every other land person, would fight anyone who hurts Korea. Birth name: Sung Hyun Shang. 1535 BCE, male, country, black fluffy hair, usually seen in a suit, basically like his father. Asia's the dad, Japan's sister, China's the brother. Okay, so North and South Korea. I think so. Back then, I wanted like someone to represent like the more unified Korea, and then someone to represent North and South Korea. I don't, I don't know why my justification was that. I mean, I guess because like Because it split up, so I don't know. Anyway, South America girlfriend at some point. Personality extremely anxious, a lot there, caring, best boy. So China or Yinchang, uh, 1530 BCE, male, country, black hair, and a black suit resembling his father. The relationships a lot like his dad, very serious and never really soft except to his family members when no one else is around. Other stuff like Japan will fight anyone that insults Korea. Again, I don't think that has any real world basis, I guess. I don't. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Time has passed. 21 minutes. Okay, you came here for stories. You didn't come here for lore rambling, so let's just get this on the road. Welcome to Different. I've decided I'll be rewriting the story starting from the beginning. So if things seem weird, that's why. I also may or may not be using history of the entire world as a reference to history, so not everything will get included, unfortunately. I can try my best, though. Chapter 1, Origins. Wow, so it's been a while since I've updated this story. Well, basically, I've had writer's block for the story, so I've decided that I'll rewrite most of the story, starting with when Europe, Asia, and Africa first met. The old chapters will be back here eventually. Originally, this was going to go up in Wattpad, but I'll be adapting it to fit Google Docs. What's with the spacing is messed up since I literally pressed Control-C and Control-V, and I tried my best to fix it. You might be wondering, how exactly did Africa, Europe, and Asia meet? This is the story that explains that in detail. Key for what language they're speaking in. Bold is Sumerian, italics is Chinese, underline is African. Great job. Great job, middle school me. From Europe's POV. Okay, I'm like sweating. I hope the audio quality didn't get too bad, but it's really hot under this blanket. Europe POV. It was a normal day in Mesopotamia. Well, at least for normal people. The beautiful, but very old and mysteriously young-looking Ereshkigal Shamash was a girl with many talents. She was born a priest's daughter, essentially giving her good status, and she became a priestess as well. She also learned how to write and speak Chinese and African from travelers, and she taught some others in her community as well. Today was her 114th birthday, something considered impossible by the other people in the town. Whenever disease, famine, and even winter time struck, it seemed she wouldn't have been able to make it. She was lucky enough to live it. Both of her parents at this age were long gone, and she lived to see the children of her siblings. And even their children, too. The priests of her temple discussed this long enough and decided that it was time for her to go. Ereshkigal was inside the temple, finishing up her daily rituals when her closest and dearest friend, Ninki Kashar, called out to her. Are you finished yet? Almost, Ereshkigal cried as she tried to finish her ritual as quickly as possible. Ninki patiently waited, and Ereshkigal ran up to her. Priests need to speak with you. Ninki fiddled with her hands nervously. What would they need with me today? Ereshkigal tilted her head in confusion. Ninki shrugged and wished her good luck, confusing her. Ereshkigal went to see them, and basically, they threw her out of the civilization, causing poor Ereshkigal to run as far away from home. And when she stopped, she saw a small house, and she walked in hesitantly, since that wouldn't be the most polite thing back at home. Suddenly, a boy with very pale skin and black hair, armed with a sword, pointed the blade at her. She uncomfortably backed up. What are you doing back here? I said go home, he yelled. Ereshkigal hesitated again, wondering what she should do. I think you have the wrong person, or people, Ereshkigal gulped. Then how the heck can you be speaking my language? You don't look very Chinese to me, but you're out to kill me like my family, when they sent someone not Chinese so they could do so. I'm not fooled by that, the boy barked as he tried to stab Ereshkigal. A traveler from China visited and taught me. Oh, wait, I read that too happy. A traveler from China visited and taught me, squeaked Ereshkigal, and she burst into tears. I don't know why I said it like that. Burst into tears, causing the boy to throw down his sword and attempt to calm her down. They started conversing once again when she calmed down. I'm guessing you don't speak Sumerian, huh? Wondered Ereshkigal. Suddenly, another boy walked in. Oh, great, another person lived with us that we won't even understand, he groaned. Oh, I learned from a traveler, Ershkigal reasoned. They all waited in silence. The two boys, Fresh Ershkigal. What if what if I taught you two Sumerian? She asked the man speaking African. She repeated once more to the other men she saw first. She asked each of them their names. Yuan Chang, Yuan, the first man she saw said. Dubaku Okriye. Again, I'm so sorry. The second man introduced. Ershkigal Shamash, she introduced. Wow, that's a lot of introduced. Suddenly, a floating woman with green hair and surrounded by lots of nature. What? The three all faced her in fear. She mumbled something. What is that? Screeched Yuan, who was now speaking perfect Sumerian. They all glanced at each other in confusion. Their gaze hardened at the strange woman as Yuan grabbed his sword and passed the other two some small daggers. Wait, let me explain, she exclaimed in Sumerian. They lowered their weapons to allow her to speak. You might be wondering how I've been alive for so long. Well, you three are Mm, sorry. You three are land people, made to represent the different continents, she explained. The three were so confused. What's a continent anyway? Continents are basically large groups. Hershkigal, you are Europe. Yuan, you are Asia. Dubaku, you are Africa. She pointed at each of the three. That's interesting, but who are you Oh, that's interesting. Who are you exactly? He yelled accusingly. The woman thought for a moment. Me, Tara. I represent the entirety of land here, she bowed. After explaining a bit more, they prepared to collect a new land person. Chapter 2, Sumer. Okay, so to straighten out my plans a bit for the story. Sorry if you missed the old couple first chapters, but I need to rewrite the story, like, a lot. Also, this is kinda rushed. I might rush this entire story, though. Also, I had to edit this a bit because I realized that China doesn't exactly exist at the moment. I phrased it like China didn't exist when I was writing this. The three woke up early the next day and set off on a long journey to their respective homes, except Africa, since there weren't exactly any African countries at the time. Really. While pondering how to get in, Tara stepped foot onto the ground. I can give you disguises using my magic, she explained. Somehow, she was able to disguise them as all entirely as new people that were traveling. Huh? They snuck in and pretended to be like normal travelers. According to Tara, she had already requested for someone to meet in a specific hidden area, so majority of the work was done already. The three head to a secret area while trying to still be unseen. In that secret space stood the person Ersh least expected, Ninky. Ersh widened her eyes. Questioned. Ninky looked a bit confused, but then widened her eyes and wrapped her arms around Ersh quickly. Yuan and Dubaku were confused, but just brushed it aside. Ersh moved aside to allow Tara to explain. Once Ninky understood and Tara gave her a prophecy, they headed back. Oh my god! Ninky was Sumerian? Well, of course they're Sumerian, but I literally didn't even remember that. That's actually kind of cool. That's Sumeri, obviously, because Sumer doesn't exist all the time. It's kind of sad. Because, like, my idea in the story was that, like, they'd see, like, new countries being born, but also, like, they die. So, like, I imagine someone, well, obviously, Ereshkigal, she saw Rome die and then live. So, I mean, that would be interesting. Well, maybe not the friend to die, but I mean, like, if I actually wrote about that, that would have been interesting. Like, I don't. Besides representing the land, I don't. They don't seem to be doing all that much right now. I know in my mind, like, whoever was the United States and North America, Mary. I remember like them being like. I remember writing out a system where they can just go to like fucking the United States court or whatever, the White the White House? No. Somewhere go to government and just be like, here we're like superseding all your powers to say this or something. Chapter 3, Someone's Gone. Me tries to belt all my favorite musical songs at once somehow. So random, what? Asia, is she okay? It had been quite some time since Terra first recruited Erish, Yuan, and Dubaku. They were continents, so they held the most power below Terra. They had also gained quite a few new places as well. Terra and Erish had to get to Sumer as quickly as possible because there was invaders. They also requested for Egypt to go there as well. When they arrived, they saw a terrible sight that I just couldn't even begin to describe to you. Why did I say I? Erish and Terra rushed up to Egypt. Sumer had been invaded, Egypt apologized. What about Ninki and everyone else? Europe hesitated. Well, Sumer doesn't exist anymore, so Ninki and everyone else is dead. However, they will be reborn as... Terra was cut off by Europe's wailing. Egypt and Terra glanced at each other, and they rushed back to their home. They explained the situation to Asia, who hugged Europe in an attempt to calm her down. Terra then decided that she'd set up a graveyard to remember the lives of any land person that has died. Okay, basically, I just predicted that, but that was kind of unfortunate. She didn't. Ninki wasn't in the story for that long. She lived and then she died, like 2 chapters later. Chapter 4. I'm so sorry. Chapter 4 Finding China. No, something about that title makes me laugh a little bit. Me, after this chapter, I'd like to let another character cameo in different. Hint, she's associated with the Chinese zodiacs. If anyone can figure it out, I can do something cool for you in my stories. Some time has passed, and since then more and more death have occurred. But that doesn't mean new land people with new prophecies passed to them. For some reason, though, Terra and the continents haven't been able to get a China. Hey, China! Because the prophecy always stays within Terra when she uses the prophecy magic. They tried to ask Asia, but he claimed to know nothing, so all they could do is keep trying. Terra woke up herself in the 3 continents early that day and explained that they would head to China and attempt to get a China land person. I'm sorry, I have to complain about this, but during that time I was missing, I actually went to China and visited my secret girlfriend. We got married. I don't think, okay, there are some countries that I know some stuff about. I think China's one of them. Yeah, I don't know much about, like, Shang Dynasty stuff, but, like, I don't know. I don't know if, like, she could have just a girlfriend. But anyways, where was I? We got married and she had a son, but I realized she just pretends he's just never there. I can tell you where he is, and he can become a land person. Asia gulped before explaining himself. Terra remarked on how that was probably why they couldn't give a China land person prophecy. And following Asia's directions, they headed to China. Asia stepped inside his supposed wife's house. They examined all rooms and only found a young boy, who was probably in his teenage years. I don't Teenager was not like a concept back in this day and age. But anyway, Asia mumbled something in Chinese, and the boy nodded. China touched his shoulders, but nothing. Asia turned an eyebrow. Wait, let me do something, Tara exclaimed. She did some kind of magic that didn't exactly understand. She already has a prophecy, as I expected. Let's get back home, Tara exclaimed. Then the group began the long and boring journey to home. Chapter 5 A Whole New World! Anyway, before I begin, let me just say I didn't originally intend to make a reference to Aladdin, but I'm just gonna keep it anyways. Now let's see if anybody got it right. It was yet another average day of just hanging around at the cabin. However, Tara was mysteriously absent the entire morning for some mysterious, unexplained reason. Europe, Asia, and Africa silently chatted with each other while trying to come up with an idea as to why Tara was absent. Tara, however, was back all of a sudden. Where have you been? The concerned Europe asked. Exploring another planet, she exclaimed, but the three were just puzzled. They asked for an explanation, and Tara delivered. Basically, a circular place that moves around a star. It was always believed that only Earth could support life, but it seems that there's more than one, Tara exclaimed. Somehow she was able to convince them to go on the journey. She teleported them all to barren land and water. They wanted to head back, but a lady in a long, flowing dress appeared in front of them. Hello, I am the planet goddess. I am the planet goddess Ayuma, the lady warmly greeted. It felt strange, but she also seemed exactly like a human. What is this place? This is a planet called Ayazuma. Only few people know this place exists. I exist only because this place exists. That's too much places and exists. Wait, so people like us could exist on different planets? Yuan cheered. Ayuma nodded. The island people had places to go, though, so they had to leave. Ayuma kindly waved and said she'd probably see them again when Ayazuma has more places to live. Chapter 6 America Origin Me. Well, it's been quite a while. I know this kind of ruins what's happened in those last chapters, but I kinda want to get to the more modern times. A young baby wailed, but nobody could hear her. The baby couldn't remember why she appeared in the middle of nowhere. But she needed someone. Nobody came. Not for 2,000 years would anybody notice or care. What the fuck? Now it is about 1607, and the first group of settlers headed to a new colony. Asia and Europe managed to get on that boat. As requested by Terra, it had been years since a new continent existed, so the both of them were excited about finally going to the new world. They wouldn't stay there, though, since they still had plenty of continental duties. The two ran away from the rest of the settlers to look at the land a bit more. Isn't this new place wonderful? Europe beamed as she kept running. Yes, but hey, slow down! Asia yelled as he ran after her. Europe suddenly stopped, which made Asia bump into her. Asia whispered angrily, but stopped when Europe pointed at a baby. Look! She exclaimed. Asia tilted his head while Europe scooped up the wailing baby. Tara appeared from a nearby bush, and she curiously peered at the baby. It's a new continent. This continent's name is North America. We must return home at once, Tara exclaimed. The two excitedly nodded back at her, and they appeared back at the house, where all land people frequently met at. Everyone winced at the crying baby, and Africa approached closer. A new continent? He whispered. Oh, okay, that makes the North American Africa ship even worse. Oh no, no, no. The two nodded back and the continents cheered. All land people that have come to this building. That's such a weird way of saying it. A new continent has been found. It's North America. Make sure to spread the news to any other land people you run into. Why is it written like that? But okay. Europe happily exclaimed. Everyone else approached them to get a new look at their continent friend. It was quite a happy day. Chapter 7 Filler. Shoot, I don't know what to say. As you can tell, we're doing filler stuff today, I guess. Europe and Asia fell asleep together on the couch while gushing over baby North America. Asia slowly woke up and noticed Europe pulling on him, causing him to blush intensely. He grabbed the baby and rocked her, but he accidentally woke her up, and she cried. Asia panicked and he placed the baby into Europe's arms, and the baby immediately calmed down. But Europe was already awake. Asia? She asked. He nervously nodded. I'm thinking that maybe we should be the parents of this baby, Europe mumbled while smiling at the baby. Asia blushed slightly as he glanced at the floor. Sure. I promise I'll do my best to be a father, he promised as he grasped her hands. Europe smiled brightly and she nodded. Chapter 8 Family. Yuan. That meeting was so boring, you know. What if me and my own characters just don't listen to me? All of them, most likely. Can we all agree that the completed stories are absolute garbage? Everyone cheers. Except Tribes and Clans. Tribes and Clans had the best writing. Only for the first part, though. Rude. I'm gonna do that, but it's more people, like, instead of furries. Okay, I'm tired of everyone bullying me, so let's go. Also, sorry if anything is inaccurate. I tried to make this seem like it was in the 1700s. Yuan and Europa were just chilling while talking to other land people. They heard a knock on the door, and they quickly answered. Dear Yuan and Europe, I am a midwife at the Northwest Hospital. I am writing to announce that your daughter Mary has given birth to twins, a girl and a boy. She wishes for you to meet her at the hospital. I am wondering where her husband is, though. Europe read aloud. Yuan and Europe cheered along with everyone else, and they jumped into a carriage that was waiting. We're gonna need a cover story since Mary became pregnant only for this whole thing. Europa whispered. Let's just say her husband died a few months ago after being poisoned, Yuan whispered back. Europa nodded and they were silent for the whole ride once more. They arrived to Mary in a hospital bed, the sound of screams and nurses and midwives giving directions filling the hospital. Thank you for getting here, Mary beamed. I wouldn't miss it for the world, Yuan responded as he held her hand. Dad, I'm surprised you're here. Most men usually just arrive with a carriage to take their family home. Well, I'm not like them, Yuan said. He's not like other boys. Oh my god. What are the kids' names anyway? I chose Adam and Liberty. One of them is a prophecy, but I can't tell who. Should we go home now? Yes, let's. Despite the directions from other nurses, they left the hospital and then headed home to ask Tara. Tara closely looked at the babies and concluded that Adam was the baby with the prophecy of being America. Mary slightly frowned but perked up. Oh, I'm sorry for telling you this so late, but I wanted to move to America so I can be just like you guys, Murray questioned. Europa and Yuan's eyes widened, but they hugged her in a week. In a week, they bid farewell to Mary. She set sail to North America. Well, this was another story with a cool concept, but not enough to make a whole story. The only real plot was personifying the countries and all that, plus getting all of Asia's children. But there was never a plot where they got Japan or Korea. Also, the thing where Europe gets mad at Asia for whatever reason, too. I don't know what I'm talking about, but okay. So I'll release the first original chapters too. Okay. Okay, here we go. Time for reading old chapters where the characters from yeah. Old chapters. Using the code names now. Different old chapters. Chapter 1, My Mom's Secret. Do you ever wonder why we have such strange names? Questioned Winona. Yes, that really is her name. Just pretend it has town names. Yes, but I don't care in the grand scheme of things, commented her sister Wendy. Yes, should we ask? Rosalina, their half sister, wondered. Winona shook her head up and down violently. If we have strange names, then I think we have a right to know why, she hissed. Wendy and Rosalina glanced at each other, a bit worried. The girls opened the door and put down their bags. Winona marched right over to their mother, while Wendy and Rosalina chilled on the couch. Mom, I have a question for you, Winona said. Her mother, Barry, turned around. What is it? She asked. Winona huffed. What's up with their strange names? I mean, Grandma's name is literally Jersey and her sister's name is York. Can I know what's going on here? She shouted. Wendy looked scared as Rosalina facepalmed. I suppose I should explain. Wendy, Rosalina, you deserve to know what this is all about. Oh, you deserve to know what this is about as well, she sighed as Wendy and Rosalina walked up to her to listen. I was born into a family that was different, to say the least. Yay! That's where the story title came from. We were immortal, always using fake identities. But not only that, but we were land people. Basically, we were pretty much physical manifestations of land, ranging from continents to town. You girls aren't my only children, she motioned to Winona and Winona. She motioned to Winona and Wendy. Usually land people are born on the same day as a new place is created. The reason why you aren't born in the 1800s is because before you were born, I already had two daughters with the same name, but someday in the year 1963, they were somehow killed, some kind of accident. I thought it was because the towns had ceased to exist, but they were fine. We never were able to find out why they died, though. I've always had the towns be my own kids, so it took me a while to find a new husband to quote-unquote replace them, but honestly, they can never really be replaced, she explained. Winona nodded. Can we meet our other siblings? Winona asked, and her mother nodded. How am I Rosalina, though? Rosalina wondered. Well, one day when your father asked me to watch you, I was holding you and trying to rock you to sleep. When I discovered that my hands were glowing as I was holding you, and then I realized, oh no, I accidentally gave her a prophecy. And so I called your father, freaking out, and told him the situation. So we came to the agreement that Rosalina would be your middle name instead of what it was before, she explained. What? I don't. Okay. Mimicking herself. I'm not buying it so much, but I want to see my 50 siblings, she guessed. Barry just smiled in return. Of course, they'd be excited to see you again. It's 66, actually, not counting you girls. Winona just shrugged and ran to her room, and Rosalina hung out in the living room during the weekends. Winona was currently playing a competitive game of Uno with Wendy and Rosalina. Winona lay a yellow card on top of the pile. "Oh no, oh no!" she shouted as Rosalina and Wendy groaned. Suddenly, Barry came into the basement. "Girls, somebody's here!" singed Barry, who ran up the stairs as they all followed her. In front of the three girls stood lots of people in a line. "Well, you asked, and so I'll deliver." Barry grinned and started to introduce everyone. The three girls tried their best to memorize as many names as possible. "I know it's kind of out of short notice, but we're going to visit North America. She's going to be hosting a meeting with all the other continents to discuss everything happening in their continents." What? Buggled, buggled, bubbled Fairy as she motioned for the girls to pack their bags. Soon, Barry and all of her kids went out and headed somewhere that Barry didn't mention. They got to an old-looking castle in an area that seemed very empty due to its lack of people. Barry led the three girls inside and saw a lady with a long dress with red, white, and blue next to some guy in a cowboy hat. "Mary! Adam!" Barry greeted them. "Oh, these two are my girls, Wendy and Winona, and my stepdaughter Rosalina," she introduced them. North America waved at them. "You kids can just call me Mary instead, like your mom." She smiled. Winona faced her with her usual angry face. "I want to know how you learned to be a land person. More specifically, continent-type land person," she demanded. Mary just nodded. Well, Chapter 2. Mary's Life. Well, you all know that technically the United States was formed when the Constitution was written, but in my case, I was born in 1492. I didn't really grow up until more people moved to the United States during the time before the Constitution. Europe and Asia had heard the news about this new land, and they went to explore, and they found me. After discussing with Tara, the lady who gave most of the continents their continent prophecy, they figured out I was the new prophecy. Back in the olden days, it was just Europe, Asia, and Africa. So they were really excited. They took care of me until the Constitution, which was around the time Adam was born. Before the war, Europe and Britain just finished a war with France, and they started taxing our tea. Even went to the lengths of personally making me pay taxes for me and Adam. I had enough, so I went to Europe and we fought. I was never planning on speaking to her again, but then I heard about Europe getting mad at Asia, from Asia's kids, and I started to forgive Europe if she made amends with Asia, blah blah blah. And that's pretty much everything important that happens until now. The three girls clapped, but Winona still had an angry look on her face. Uh, I don't know what to rename this character, so let's just call them P. P, one of their many siblings, started to show them around a bit. "Well, did you know that Asia and Europe are married?" P exclaimed suddenly. Suddenly, a couple walked up to them. "Sheesh, you didn't even let us meet the new kids. We're telling them we're married." The man crossed his arms. The girls talked to him, and they assumed that he must be Asia due to the similarities of him and a Chinese man. What the fuck? This is terrible. This is so problematic. The girls went to sleep after that and were woken by a servant who helped them pick out something to wear for the giant meeting. They noticed that the closet they were looking in had a variety of dresses, with some looking more recent and some looking like they were from the 17 and 16,000s. I think that's too high, but okay. Finally, they all settled on some dresses. Winona found a red dress that was pretty modern. Rosalina found a edgy black dress from the 2000s, and Wendy wore a pastel pink dress from the 1800s. They went to the meeting, which was really boring. The best parts were the giant Kahoot game they all played, and when everyone was called down to play their favorite games. It was interesting when Antarctica was called in the area that the continents were, though. And then that's how it fucking ends. Fucking cliffhanger. So yeah, this story is problematic in many, 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 many ways, but um, yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna post this, to be honest. We'll see. We'll see if I'll post this or not. Um, will a reboot of this happen? I don't know. It's probably gonna need a lot of changes. Most importantly, though, Africa needs to not be dating North America. He needs to date someone else. Just someone else. Oh, also, fun fact, I remember imagining that, like, weird meeting, like, Okay. Um. Sorry. I've always imagined that weird meeting to take place in like a medieval times kind of like place, but it's like bigger, I guess, if that makes sense. Anyway, this story is it's something. Was this a good or bad throwback? I have no fucking clue. But I hope you enjoyed this, even if the story is insanely problematic. Okay, I think that's it for now. Bye.